welcome to the Brampford Speke VE Day Tea Party celebration. We've come together to share a cuppa and tell you all about VE Day. Ah, Mrs. Carpenter, good to see you. How are you? Would you like a cup of tea? Yeah, just a moment. Ah, there you go. Ah, you can't beat a good cup of tea.
Oh, thanks very much, Mr. Nichols. So VE Day, or Victory in Europe Day, marks the day towards the end of the Second World War, when fighting against Nazi Germany in Europe came to an end. Let's see if Miss Montfort wants a cup of tea. I think she's in the garden. Miss Montfort, cup of tea?
Oh, that's lovely, Mrs. Carpenter. Thank you so much. There's nothing that beats a good cup of tea. Now, on the 8th of May 1945, our Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, made an announcement on the radio at 3 p.m. that the war in Europe had come to an end, following the surrender of Germany the day before. Cup of tea, Mrs. Guppy.
Thank you, Miss Montfort. Lovely. Tuesday the 8th of May 1945 was an emotional day that millions of people had been waiting for. Many people were extremely happy that the fighting had stopped and there were big celebrations and street parties. Mrs. Fee, would you like a cup of tea?
Thank you, Mrs. Guppy. Huge crowds with lots of people dressed in red, white and blue gathered outside Buckingham Palace in London. They cheered as King George V and his family, including Princess Elizabeth, our Queen, and Princess Margaret, came out onto the balcony to greet everybody. Cup of tea, Mrs. Est?
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Fee. A cup of tea. Just what I need. So, Princess Elizabeth and her sister Margaret were able to leave the palace, and they went outside to celebrate with crowds, although they had to do it secretly. The future Queen described the night as the most memorable night of her life. Mrs. Evans, would you like a cup of tea?
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Est. Many people also attended church to thank God for the victory. London's St Paul's Cathedral held 10 services which were attended by thousands of people. Mrs. Galt, would you like a cup of tea?
Thank you very much, Mrs. Evans. Delicious. Street parties were held up and down the country where neighbours brought food to share together. They danced and sang songs. Miss Mumford, would you like a cup of tea?
Oh, thank you very much, Mrs. Galt. Lovely cup of tea. So, this year marks the 75th anniversary of VE Day, and the bank holiday was moved from Monday the 4th of May to Friday the 8th of May, so that everyone could join in the celebrations. Would you like some tea, Mrs. Griffiths?
Beautiful, thank you. So you may have heard of Colonel Tom Moore due to his fabulous charity fundraising. You've heard of him, have you, Ginny? Brilliant. He will also be remembering the soldiers who fought in the Forgotten War, which ended in August 1945 in the Far East. Nova, cup of tea?
Oh, Mrs. Griffiths, thank you so much, love. Oh, lovely cup of tea. I was gasping. Oh, lovely. After a long day's work, that sounds like a good plan. I'll tell you what, kids, why don't we end our VE Day celebrations with a nice dance? What do you think? Right then, Mother. All right then? Lovely. Righto. Now, kids, what we're going to do is we're going to do a traditional East End dance called the Lambeth Walk. All right? Some of you might know it. hopefully. Right, so what we do, get on your mark. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Anytime you're Lambeth Way, any evening, any day, you'll find us all doing the Lambeth Walk. Hey!
Right, that's it.